Hello everyone, my name is Michael, and today we're going to take a look at the usage report. A lot of you already recognize this as the usage versus sold report, and the old report took in consideration about 3 sections and 16 items. The new report will take into consideration about almost everything in kitchen, as well as everything in salad bar. Before we get started, we'll recognize where the application is on the desktop, and it's going to be on the bottom right, unless you have moved it. So the application is called Automated Reports, and right next to it is the Usage Reports folder. That's where all the usage reports are going to be saved once you generate them. Before we go into the application, we'll go down to Spot On. We need to get the sales for the previous week. So we go to Sales, Product Mix with Modifiers. We cannot use the product mix or the product mix with employee or by employees or the product mix with subtotals. It must be the product mix with modifiers. So the application will not allow you to use the other 3. For tutorial purposes, I'm going to use the previous week's data because my current inventory is not done for this week. So we're going to click 26 through the 1st. And once this is generated, we can scroll down and we must click expand before we export this data. If we try exporting this data without expanding, you're only going to get these few lines here. You click expand, and you can see all the items that you sold the previous week. It's okay if you have more columns here than I do. I have edited my columns to only show 3 items, or 3 columns. But once that's expanded, you can click export, CSV, and download it, export. And that's all the items you need for the POS sales. Now we're going to look at the application, Automated Reports. So we have 2 tabs here, Haas's and Marzoni's. Marzoni's does not work at the moment, but Haas's here. You have Reports, Generate Usage Report, and Resources, Print Food Loss and Prep Usage Chart, and Print Usage Report Instructions. This is the document that I sent out in the email the other day. Print Food Loss and Prep Usage Chart. You can click on that. This will have all the items that your cooks can record. It's 3 pages. So what I like to do is on Monday is I like to put them on a clipboard and give them to our cooks and our prep people. And they can record any food loss that they might have in kitchen or any items that are expired. They can record it. And the prep usage, if an item's going expired and you want to cook it off to use in prep, the prep person would just record that item on here. I say it should be worth note that the crab meat right here should only be recorded in prep if it's used in a soup, not if you used it for crab cakes. In a future update here, I'll put a little note here for the prep people as well. When we're ready to generate the report, we can click Generate Usage Report. It'll ask us for a guest count. Click OK. It's going to hit me with this error because I'm using previous week's data. I say because my ending inventory for this week is 0. But that's what I want for tutorial purposes. Normally you won't have any errors when you run this report. So this is the report. This is the usage report. It has the kitchen section, meats, seafood, chicken, appetizers, sides, toppings, bread. They say majority of this document is protected, meaning there are only a few editable cells. You can click on and you can edit the period, the week, the food loss, the prep usage, or if you'd like to add a comment or a reason. All these other ones, if you try clicking on it, you'll get an error. Now, a lot of these cells are interactive, meaning if you click on them, you can see something about them. So for this item sold, it tells you the number of items sold for this item. So we sold 5 ribeyes last week. So the conversion tab takes these items sold and converts them into how we count inventory. In this instance, it converts the item to pounds. If we scroll down and we look to see about items that are counted by each, they're grayed out. There's no conversion. Item is already counted per each for inventory. for stuff or items that are bags, converted items to bags, and converted items to cases for things that are counted by case. Food loss, it tells you how to enter per order. It tells you how food loss is calculated, how usage is calculated. If anybody's interested, it's the beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending inventory equals the usage. If you take anything out of inventory, like a in-store transfer or meat sold to employee, that counts as a negative purchase, assuming you are taking it out of inventory. The difference is the conversion minus the usage. So this is the usage you should have had, and this is the usage that you recorded. And this is the difference. Each one of these different cells has a note attached to it. You can click on them, and you can see what colors indicate what. So in this instance, let's go down here to Philly. Say we have a -6. That means we are 6 over what we should have. So we sold 22 Phillies last week, but I'm recording a usage of 28. That is a -6. Say for this, we're missing 1 pound of 8-ounce burger. We're within the variance, so it is green. Don't mind this 61.5 pound surplus of 6 ounces. We're testing the 6 ounces here, and we are having a hard time tracking at the moment. We do not have a surplus of 61.5. All of these items over here have their prices constantly updated. So every week, whenever you download invoices, all of these prices should match that. So they should be up to date every week. Prep usage, if you have that, if you cook off that ribeye and use it for steak salad down in prep, you would just enter that and it'll change the conversion and compare it to the usage and give you a different difference here. I apologize, one of the functions broke for my last update. Normally, this prep usage will take the prep usage cost of this item and apply it to the salad bar section. But I broke that. It will be available in the next update. Let's see. After each section, you're going to have a total cost that adds up all of the cost over here, and it will break it down even further into a positive and a negative cost. These two costs make up the total cost here for this section. I say a positive and a negative are necessary, especially early on for your when you run the report, because you're going to see a lot of volatility in your report on average. I say positive cost usually indicates something wasn't counted right the week before, usually. So if you forget to count something one week and you take a negative hit on that week, the following week you find it will be a positive cost. So the only time you should really have a positive cost is if you are gifted an item from corporate, or for some other reason you obtain an item without having to go through and purchase it. So realistically, you should not have very high positive costs. I say I like to focus on the negative. Before I roll over and I'm okay with my FBC, I run this report, and you can run this report as many times as you want. I say it'll just delete itself and rerun every time. But say I'm missing these 6 Phillies, I want to go back and check. I go back, I look, I find the 6 Phillies, I update my count, and then I rerun the report, and this should be 0, and it'll be in green, and my negative will be lower. So if we're constantly on top of this positive you shouldn't have. Say high positive, high negative, or vice versa, just indicate volatility. And that might mean that your counting could be wrong. Down at the very bottom, you have a total food loss, a total positive cost, total negative cost, total cost loss. Now, another reason why total positive costs and total negative costs are separated here is because you have a high positive cost, a high negative cost, and you have a somewhat reasonable total cost loss. So normally you'd be like, this is fine, but until you recognize that you have high volatility here, that means that this is not fine. You have a bunch of gray cells here, and if you look at it, you have, let's see, burger 4-ounce 1 patty and burger 4-ounce 2 patty. One of these is a child item, and by that I mean this is counted differently, or counted individually. So we sold 161 burgers that had 1 patty on them. They are weighed, and then they are added to the parent column. And this just helps for counting purposes, because we only count inventory of the same product once, not twice. So this is counted, weighed, and then thrown into the parent column here, so that the usage for the single item is more accurate. So, and it tells you that here too. If you click on the difference cell here, it'll tell you that the burger 4-ounce 1 patty conversion weight is added here. Say the same thing for the tips and the kid tips. They're all the same thing. So they are counted, weighed, and then that weight is then added to this one here. Shrimp galore is the same way, and kid chicken tenders is also a child item of chicken tenders. Broccoli, mushrooms, bacon bits, shredded cheese, and mozzarella cheese are all counted and then converted into how we count inventory. And that conversion weight is then subtracted from the salad bar section on the next page to give a more accurate representation of what the salad bar / prep people used that week. I believe that's everything on the kitchen page. Go to the salad bar section, and we start off with a few items at the top. The first one being the 8 most expensive items. This automatically updates every time you run the report. It'll just tell you what the most expensive items were for a cost per person. So eggs, boiled eggs here, were 14 cents. Ice cream was 13, so on, so on. Salad bars and what kind of salad bars they were counted right here. So you have the lunch, 3 to 5, dinner, add-on, banquet, kids, and kids under 5. And that gives you a total salad bars sold last week. Statistics, you have an average amount of salad bars per day, percentage of guests only getting the salad bar. So these are people just walking in, only getting the salad bar. That's it. Percentage of appetizers sold per guest, percentage of meals that get an add-on salad bar. And these are meals that are only eligible to get a add-on salad bar. Percentage of meals that get an add-on item. These are items such as add-on tips, add-on chicken, add-on shrimp, items like that. Percentage of lunch salad bars that get a $2.49 item. Percentage of 3 to 5 salad bars that get a 3 to 5 meal. And percentage of drinks that are featured teas or lemonades. It should be worth noting that this statistic right here is only items or featured teas and lemonades that are in store. So it excludes all the DoorDashes, all the to-go drinks. This is more for a upselling feature for the servers. Down here we have all the categories. This should look a lot like your WIC in general. I have moved a few things around to make it easier to read. So in general, if we scroll down here, normally the shredded cheese, the cooked cheese, is by itself, and it's not normally labeled cheese, but I've made it with all the other cheeses in salad bar to make it easier to read. If we scroll down here, it gives you your item name. It gives you how it's measured for inventory. It gives you your inventory cost, and then it gives you your usage. So last week, we're saying that we went through 38.25 pounds of turkey dice cubes, and that cost us $115.32 just in money. Food loss here, if you'd like to record it, and the food loss cost of that. Usage per person takes the usage. So if we take the turkey cubes again, 38.25, and we divide that by the total salad bars, that gives you a usage per person. And say if you get a cost per person by taking the usage per person, multiplying it by the cost, and that gives you a cost per person. Percentage of salad bar money, so it takes your usage here, $115.32, and it divides it by the total usage cost for salad bar. So for the entire salad bar last week, it cost us $5,181.31. And it's divided by that, and that says that the average, on average, we had 2.22% of our total salad bar cost came from turkey cubes. Any red cells that you have are negative percentages. Any yellow cells, which I don't have this week, are anything above 4%. So that's just indicating high usage. But yeah, after each section, you're going to have a total usage cost for this section, a total cost per person for this section, and a percentage of Salad Bar money for this section. At the very bottom, you can see the total usage cost and the total cost per person. So last week we ran on average, $3.39 Salad Bar. This 100% just adds up all the percentages right here, just to show you that it's 100%. If for the future update, when you do add an item in the kitchen prep usage cost, that money will then get added to this total usage cost, and this 100% will go down. The last tab here is the average usage. This pulls all of your WIC. All right, so it's not just the kitchen or the salad bar. It has the paper, the chemical ingredients. It has the soda, everything. And what this does is it pulls your current week's usage and it compares it against your average usage. So when you run the report for the first time, let's see if I have it backed up here. You creates this historical data and trends file. This is just going to be in the background. This whole sheet's protected as well. But this week that I just recorded, week 1, is I entered the guest count, and this is all of the usage for that week. This is the date range that we have. Say this is only run 2 weeks now, so I only have 2 weeks worth of data, but it will go down to 12 weeks. It'll give you an average for those 12 weeks. And that will be pasted here. You can use this to spot inconsistencies within your usage. So if you run this before you roll over and you notice that on average you sell 40 10 ounces, but the current week you have 120, you go back, check it. Same thing for all of this. The cells will indicate usage over 10%. Red will indicate usage under 10%. I can change that as we go. What you're going to find throughout the next couple of weeks is this is going to be constantly be updated. Constantly looking to make this better. In the future, we might have something where this usage is converted into the prep par sheets, so it can update the prep par sheets every week to give you more accurate pars, as well as a few other features that we're going to look to implement as well. But that's it for the usage report. I did do this from start to finish without editing, so please be nice. If you have any questions, you can always email me. Hopefully I'll be able to help you during that day. I normally do work Monday morning, so in the store, so I might be busy, but I will get back to you. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.